Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I have got another StarCraft 2 commentary for you today. Today's matchup will be between eXoPolyGon and MarineKing, and apparently MarineKing is playing on Ellen Page's account. So yes, we can see here in the 12 o'clock position, we do have MarineKing as the red Terran player, and here in the 3 o'clock position, we do have eXoPolyGon as the blue Protoss player. So Protoss versus Terran, MarineKing versus eXoPolyGon here on Metalopolis. Looking forward to this matchup. Huge fan of both of these players. I've seen a lot of solid games from both MarineKing and eXoPolyGon, so really looking forward to see how this matchup plays out. Something to note, of course, is that we do have this close air distance, so any type of air harass could certainly come into play. Possibly drops or banshees here from MarineKing, and eXoPolyGon could do some sort of Void Ray opening harass. In fact, just recently pumped out a Protoss strategy video opening up with Void Ray, three-gate Stargate Void Ray opening. Very, very solid build. I'm not sure if Polygon will do that in this particular game. One big thing to note, the particular strategy video that we did look at was very all-in-y, so hopefully, I mean, I don't like really seeing all-ins in commentaries because that tends to lead to, after the all-in, either it's a win or whoever did the all-in typically just ends up losing. Very rarely do you see an all-in, and by terms of all-in, I mean something that hurts your economy for really strong early aggression. So any sort of build that where you cut your workers, you stop building probes, you stop building SCVs just to get the little bit extra resources momentarily for a big strong push. And then obviously, though, cutting workers drastically cuts back on your rate of return from your resource gathering. So in the long term, it really hurts you. So anyways, yes, hopefully we don't see that. I'll stop talking about all-ins and just randomness. We can see Polygon right now. Gateway finished. Cybernex core is up. Everything looks pretty much per the usual. A little bit worried, though. Well, not worried, but MarineKing looks to be going for a quick expand build because he does not have a refinery, and he certainly should by this point in the game. So we will be seeing a quick expand. It looks like it may very well be just a 1 racks into expand build here from MarineKing, and I swear I am going to call him Ellen Page at some point. Whose account is this? This is absurd. Why would you name? Anyways, yes, the orbital command just finished right now for MarineKing. There is that mule. Still, of course, no refinery because here comes that expansion right now. There we go, dropping the expansion. So yes, a 1 racks fast expand. Now, what will MarineKing be relying on early game? Well, most certainly he'll be relying on 1 or 2 bunkers as some sort of early game defense. We can see most notably here, MarineKing has not scouted whatsoever. So he is really in the dark right now in terms of what eXoPolyGon is going for. Now, something else important to note is that it is quite possible that we may be seeing eXoPolyGon go for an expansion as well. Although, yeah, I don't know. He does have 2 assimilators up, but no, it looks like, yes, he is in fact going to be going 1 gate into expand, and then I do expect to see 2 more gateways after that. That's pretty much necessary to have, with that quick expansion, enough units early game to be able to defend yourself from any strong early pushes. Now, obviously, we know that MarineKing isn't pushing, but it doesn't look like eXoPolyGon is aware of that quite as of yet. There are those 2 additional racks right now. The expansion just about finished, and again, here's that expansion for eXoPolyGon, and I do expect, as mentioned, probably 2 more gateways to get dropped down here for eXoPolyGon just to make sure that he has enough units. Chrono boosting a whole lot of nothing there. That's pretty sad to see. I think he just missed. Yeah, I don't know. Either he missed the Cybernex core. He may have been supply blocked, though. I wasn't paying attention, so that may have very well been the case. Or he just forgot to build. Who knows? Lots of things can happen. We're all human, as they say. Do we have a... Nope, no Marauders coming out, so just sticking to Mass Marine. He is getting that combat shield as well, and once he expands, I really do expect a bunker or 2. Who knows, though? He's MarineKing, so he may not even bother. He may not deem it necessary. So yes, there are those 2 additional gateways as expected, coming out with a couple of sentries as well, and looks like he is actually moving out, not really to be aggressive or try to do damage, but just to try to, you know, dance around and maybe cause a little bit of harassment, maybe even just delay this expansion. We do have a few sentries and that 1 stalker as well. We can see the proxy pylon getting dropped, so eXoPolyGon will be looking to be a little bit aggressive with just these 3 gateways. Here we go, warp gates coming on through. The 3rd one should be turning into a warp gate anytime now, and look at this, it is working. eXoPolyGon delaying this expansion here. We can see MarineKing forced to lift it off, but now here we go, pushing down, is catching that force field, and that is unfortunate. Should be pulling back his units right now. Try to keep that sentry alive, no reason for it to die. There we go, sentry is alive. and this is some very nice harassment we're seeing go down for eXoPolyGon. He is making it very hard right now for MarineKing to expand, sneaking a few units, so should be able to target fire down those sentries pretty quickly, but no, not quite enough. Again, realize we do have this proxy pylon, so we may be seeing some continued warp-in sentries here. He just needs to keep this force field up, and MarineKing is kind of screwed in all honesty. Really actually surprised that he isn't landing this to try to get out a couple more SCVs, at least in his main, until he can push out. We can see, of course, the factory coming out. That is necessary. He does need to work his way up to medevacs just to make sure that he can actually leave his base. Now, we do see another sentry coming out, but really, I do not expect much more than this from eXoPolyGon. He doesn't really want to invest too much. He can't keep MarineKing in his base forever. This is a very temporary thing. It does a lot of damage. Obviously, right now, the income for MarineKing is suffering as a result. We can see eXoPolyGon having that advantage right now with that extra mining base finally landing that orbital command. So MarineKing is suffering right now, but again, you can't keep this up indefinitely. As soon as those medevacs come into play, we can see that factory is just about finished. We do have 5 racks right now churning out Marines, couple of Marauders thrown into that mix as well. Here comes the starport, should be coming out in just one moment right now. There we go. And then again, once that medevac is up, we'll have some units lifted on the low ground, and that'll help shoo away these sentries and allow everyone inside of the main to push on out. MarineKing tempting fate, though, trying to get ready to actually move down a little bit prematurely before that first medevac is in play. We can see kind of scouting out the units outside of his base there with that orbital command. Back over here, what do we have eXoPolyGon doing? Twilight Council is in play. Double upgrades coming out of here out of these double forges, and wow, look at that. So we also have this charge upgrade coming out. So eXoPolyGon getting ready to move into charge zealots. I almost expect to see a Templar archives as well. That will, of course, allow him to get some Storm. Charge Zealots and Side Storm, pretty popular unit composition, and it can be very effective as well. Kind of an alternative to that typical Colossus General Gateway mix that you see mostly from Protoss players against a Terran opponent. Obviously, the huge advantage is that without Colossus, you don't have to worry about double Vikings. But here come the double medevacs right now out of the starport. Factory Scout will be moving out here as well. Sitting very Marine heavy, very high DPS there. A little bit light on the Marauders, but that really isn't a huge deal. eXoPolyGon realizing now it's about time to end this harassment. He does want to try to save these units. No reason to lose them unnecessarily. Be careful, though. A little bit close there to the edge. He's going to try to keep him in as long as possible, though. He has got a few more warp-ins, and actually this sentry looks to be a goner. No concussive shell, though, so the sentry does manage to make it away. No concussive shell there for MarineKing. Lots of zealots here in play. Charge research just about finished. We do have the level 1 weapons upgrade coming out. Chrono boosting nothing again. There we go. Finally, the level 2 armor coming out, and at long last, MarineKing is able to leave his base, but now is the time to be aggressive. He certainly wants to capitalize and try to counterattack and return the favor, because he has been down economically for quite a while. So he really does have to do some damage. Medevacs with nothing in them heading in the main. There we go. Finally rerouting back towards the army and getting ready to move on up. But here comes the push, and how is eXoPolyGon going to be able to deal with it? He will rely on force fields, plus those charge zealots. We do have the Guardian Shields going down. Some force fields, but not really the best force fields. Didn't split quite as nicely as he may have liked. Trying to pull back while the stim is in effect there for that Bio army. Warping in a few Stalkers there as well. And actually, MarineKing looks to be heading back home. A little bit concerned right now. He is 0-0 in terms of upgrades. Just now getting out his engineer, but here he comes. Stay back going down. Guardian Shields. Are we seeing a good enough force fields? There we go. Couple bit of that Bio gets trapped, but not enough zealots anymore. That DPS on that heavy Marine build is pretty nuts, and eXoPolyGon is being pushed back into his natural expansion, trying to come out with a few more zealots. There we go. Finally, the Templar archives coming out. He does, of course, want those in play. The medevacs, again, just chilling in the main, doing nothing. There was nothing in them. While pulling forward, there's another stim. Charge zealots doing what they can to push forward. They're looking a little bit scary, but I think eXoPolyGon should be okay. He's got another warp in coming sometime soon. There we go. So warping in a few more zealots, and he should have no problem once those zealots come in, shooing back this aggression here. So MarineKing will be forced to retreat still with, what the F, man. MarineKing, get rid of those. Well, lifting up onto the high ground, though, and MarineKing trying to be kind of just a nuisance, bouncing back and forth and making it difficult for eXoPolyGon to actually deal with that Bio army being so mobile with those medevacs. High Templar getting warped in right now. We do not yet. There we go. They're actually getting changed into Archons. He has yet to start researching that Psionic Storm. Just wants to use those Archons for now. Do we have concussive shells yet? No, still no concussive shells. There we go. Medevacs finally heading back home. Factory Scout has just been chilling out in eXoPolyGon's base for quite some time. We've got a Ghost Academy coming out as well for MarineKing. Throwing those ghosts into the mix will certainly help quite a bit. If you can get off some clutch EMPs, he will be in a solid spot. Level 1 upgrade coming out for the weapons here for MarineKing. We aren't seeing what looks to be much counter aggression here from eXoPolyGon. In fact, he is just going to macro up from this point forward. We can see moving out with his 3rd expansion right now, but here comes a drop. It will be inside of the main of eXoPolyGon, and MarineKing, this is going to be pretty heavy. This could be fairly devastating. Luckily, the Blink Research did just finish. He could have very well just lost that, and here comes a drop right inside the main. Couple of guys still inside the dropship. There we go. Stimpak going down, and this is a little bit of an issue right now for eXoPolyGon. Coming up on the opposite side, though, with those Charged Zealots, and Archon's getting a few more Charged Zealots warped in as well. Looks like he might be losing most of these, trying to lift up as much as he can and head out of there, and I do not think he did quite enough damage. Did drop a building or two. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure what that was. Look, oh, those were the 2 forges. There we go. So he did manage to drop the 2 forges, delaying any continuous upgrades that we may be seeing from eXoPolyGon. Still, he is fairly upgraded as of now, sitting at 1 weapons and 2 armor. We'd also have the expansion coming out. A little bit interesting in terms of his positioning. I'm guessing trying to avoid any possible observer scout that may just end up heading straight to that expansion and bypass that. Hopefully, maybe that's his decision making. I am not entirely sure. MarineKing sitting pretty much still bio heavy. Marine Marauder got a couple medevacs coming out. Does he have any ghost in play yet? No, not yet. He does have that Ghost Academy up, but still no ghost in play, not building any either. eXoPolyGon looks to be moving out right now. We do have, again, there's that Factory Scout still alive. Just needs to get that burning, and then it will take care of itself. Grabbing that Zelnaga Tower, and we may be seeing some aggression right now. Now, he does have this 3rd up. And again, MarineKing is coming up with his 3rd as well. That command center did just finish. Oh, now eXoPolyGon is attempting to push this. This is really not the largest of army. We've got 2 ghosts coming out. In terms of army supply, taking a look here, we can see they're relatively even, with MarineKing having that slight advantage right now. Take a look at the unit loss tab. Pretty much about even at this point in the game, given both large engagements that took place. So look at this, eXoPolyGon expanding onto MarineKing's half of the map, and this may very well go unscouted for quite some time. It's very rare that you scout your half of the map. I mean, in all honesty, we view these positions and we think, okay, MarineKing's got this half of the mini map, and then of course eXoPolyGon has this half. So it is very unlikely that MarineKing will scout this anytime soon. So very interesting play there by eXoPolyGon. We can see also coming out with this expansion as well. This would put him at a whopping 5 expansions, trying to transfer some workers over. This is actually really dangerous because it's very easy to scout these workers in transit, but it looks like that hasn't happened. So he may be okay with this hidden expansion for the time being. Still a few more ghosts coming out. 4 in play right now, 2 more, so we'll be totaling 6. I don't really expect much more than that. Really not much of a reason to have more than 4 to 6 ghosts. It costs way too much, and it'll cut back on the bulk of your offensive army size. Because really, those are just utility units. They're used for the EMP and pretty much nothing else. They can do the sniping and everything. Obviously, they can nuke, but in a real professional scenario, you pretty much see them exclusively used for EMP, and sometimes a little bit of sniping as well. And trying to snipe down actually a few of those ghosts, and getting one, and then blinking back. Very nice by eXoPolyGon, spotting those high value units right in the front, snipes some down before blinking away, but he is getting ready to defend against this very large push. Needs to be careful. Those ghosts have way more than enough energy to lay a few AMPs down, so does have to be very, very careful about how he decides to engage, of course, as well as Archons being so shield heavy. That is the bulk of their life, and here come the ghosts sneaking forward, getting ready to EMP. Here comes the big engagement. A couple concussive shells going down. There's the EMP. Bit of damage. Some nice storms, though, on the Ghost. Charged Zealots moving in, and there weren't really enough EMPs to justify those expensive ghosts. We can see eXoPolyGon trying to spread out his units, letting that Bioball stim up, sniping down yet another ghost. Some big storms going down as well, and stimming away. Ooh, MarineKing doing a lot of damage to his own units. He does have plenty of energy, though, on those medevacs. We can see those High Templar in hot pursuit, but look at that expansion getting sniped down right now. MarineKing taking advantage of this opportunity, but here comes those High Templar. Are they going to storm? Yes, they will. Lots of damage being done to the bio right there, and splitting up his bio, not maybe the best decision there for MarineKing. He took some pretty big losses. We'll be lifting up the rest of his bio and heading back home. I'm not seeing any counterattack or anything from eXoPolyGon. And again, we do still have this hidden expansion, which is being used exclusively to mine Vespene gas right now. And it looks like eXoPolyGon may get ready to continue a counterattack right now. Now, he did lose his base, but again, keep in mind, he has this hidden expansion. Even though it is just mining Vespene, it's still quite useful for him. He can, of course, also take advantage of the Chrono Boost there from that Nexus. And he is sitting at supply cap right now. Army size advantage going to eXoPolyGon, even if it's only 10 army supply. He is getting ready for a big, strong push. Lots of Archons. Do we still have any more High Templar in the mix? Yes, we've got 4 High Templar sitting at 8 Ghost right now, so unreal. We are seeing MarineKing very, very Ghost heavy, maybe afraid of losing a few. He wants to make sure that he can still land some EMPs. There's the scan. Getting ready to engage. He needs to pull back, though. A nicely placed Storm right on those Ghosts. There's an EMP, almost completely missing the Protoss army. Another big EMP goes down, though, doing quite a bit of damage. Those Charged Zealots swooping on in. Blinkstalkers move forward as well. Here come those Archons, and this is a pretty scary right now for MarineKing. He is pulling back, trying to make as much as possible. Look at that! Zealot wall warping on the backside with that nicely placed proxy pylon, sandwiching the units here of MarineKing and completely mopping up everything. Very nice by eXoPolyGon. That was quite impressive. He is moving into the expansion, and it is looking a little scary right now for MarineKing. I'm not sure what he can do. Look at how many Archons there are, and the Zealots swooping in and doing so much damage. And it is really, at this point, just a matter of time until MarineKing calls the GG, because this game is all over right now. Very nice play there by eXoPolyGon, and you know, unfortunately for MarineKing, getting really caught out of position from that warp, and Zealot made it so that he couldn't micro back anymore, and he took such heavy losses. And there we go, finally calling the GG. What a game. We saw MarineKing open up with 1 Rax into Expand, while eXoPolyGon opted for 1 Gate into Expand as well. As MarineKing was trying to lay down his expansion, we saw eXoPolyGon move out with 2 Sentries and a Stalker, and with the abuse of force fields, completely trapped MarineKing inside of his main base, severely setting him behind economically. And we're actually going to see what happens here as eXoPolyGon keeps this up for quite some time. He forces MarineKing to stay inside of his base until he gets medevacs. After breaking the contain with some medevacs, MarineKing was finally able to push out and move with some counter-aggression. However, with some nice maneuvering with his Charged Zealots as well as force fields, we did see eXoPolyGon successfully defend this counter-aggression from MarineKing. MarineKing then went for a drop inside of eXoPolyGon's main. However, even though he lost these 2 forges with some very fast response time, eXoPolyGon was able to stop this bio drop from doing that much damage. We're going to see him swoop up here with those Charged Zealots and Archons, and then Stalkers on the other side. And after he lost these 2 forges, but that was pretty much it. After getting some Ghosts and a few more medevacs at about 20 minutes game time, we saw MarineKing move out to drop the expansion of eXoPolyGon. However, in hot pursuit, eXoPolyGon was able to force MarineKing to split up his army and then mopped up about half of what he had, and that was pretty devastating for MarineKing. At 21 minutes game time, we had our final large engagement of the game. What we're going to see here is some really nice EMPs as well as Storms. Really nice play from both players. However, what's going to happen with these Charged Zealots, forcing that bio to kite back, and then we're going to see something very, very impressive from eXoPolyGon, warping in a Zealot wall right behind the attempted microing bio here of MarineKing. And since MarineKing didn't target fire down this pylon, allowing those Zealots to warp in and completely mop up the rest of his bio, so that was the end of the game right there. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this commentary. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks again, guys, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.